There is a buzz of excitement in Parma. What once was an overgrown patch of weeds is now a pollinator paradise. University of Idaho staff, master gardeners, and volunteers all came together. And in today's Inside Ag, we look at why it's so important. It took a hive of activity to bring this project to life. A brand new pollinator garden at the University of Idaho Extension Office in Parma, thanks to a $10,000 grant from Dr. Barbara Petty.
What goes into something like this is a lot. We, number one, invited the Canyon County Master Gardeners.
I've been team lead for about 7, 8 years now.
We had Parma staff help out a bunch with this project.
I participated in designing the garden and the concept idea of bringing this garden to this area.
And then we had to source all the plants and irrigation to prep the site.
The group of nearly 40 people cleared out rocks, brush, and trees to make way for more than 130 pollinator-friendly plants, irrigation, and even bee hotels. And while you may ask, why are people buzzing about this? Well, it's because it's protecting our agriculture.
They're critical for us. I mean, we don't realize how much we rely on bees, but if we eat fruit, drink milk and everything, 75% of the food we consume, it's because of the bees. So they're critical in our environments.
Idaho's native pollinator species helps home gardens, flowering plants, and ag operations across the state. Butterflies, moths, beetles, flies, and primarily bees need habitat, nectar resources, and spaces to survive. According to U of I, it's estimated that more than 1/3 of every bite of food humans consume is thanks to native and managed pollinators. Insects and agricultural operations rely on each other for pollination services. And without this, Idaho's agriculture systems would see a direct decrease in yield and income.
The importance of this can't be understated. Here in Idaho, we're over 720 native bee species. So everyone thinks of the honeybee, the alfalfa leaf-cutting bee, maybe a bumblebee. We have way more bee species in Idaho than that. Probably 90% of them are going to be ground nesters. So we need to preserve that habitat and have nectar resources for them to forage on.
And there's a science of what kind of plants to add to a pollinator garden and what goes around those plants.
If you're dealing with insects, you need to give them food for the whole season, and different insects come out at different times. Right now we looked at the Maximilian sunflower, which is a late bloomer. We have some asters that are late bloomers. So, this is all something, if anybody thinks about incorporating into their home garden, make sure you have a wide selection of plants.
The Advanced Master Gardener also says group similar plants together to make it easier for the insects to get their resource, and leave a section of bare ground for bees to nest, because most are ground nesting, and mulch and bark prevent that.
All of our bees are basically nesting in the soil, around the ag fields, around their house, and that we need to preserve them. We need to reduce pesticide use as a whole, as a society, and to plant these pollinator plants that are providing those nectar resources for their survival in the long run.
Okay, so at the Extension Office, it also is allowing their staff and researchers to be able to test out the different soil and see what works best for the bees and pollinators. Big question though, do you have a green thumb?
It depends who you ask. My family would say no. I would say yes, because I only kill on average like 2 plants a month.
Okay.
But no, I think we're getting there with the landscaping and the pollinator gardens. They're all over our neighborhood.
Yeah, and I have good news for you. I don't have a green thumb.
Okay.
So I'm looking at this course right here.
Super helpful.
Canyon County Master Gardener Program. They host classes. They do it every year. You have to go through some volunteer work, but might be something I have to sign up for.
I think so too. I feel like you need to learn from experts, and then you can slowly get it. Once you have more time too, it also takes a lot of time to set up. Well, good story. I'm glad you highlighted that.